today, let's talk about what is security. So our agenda for today is about, of course, the introduction of security, the subject of security, branches of security, and last, the defining security by function. Okay? So for the introduction, okay, the central role of computer security for the working of the economy, the defense of the country, and the protection of our individual privacy is universally acknowledged today. Okay? Which is a relatively, in the recent development, it has resulted from the rapid deployment of internet technologies in all fields of human endeavor and throughout the world. Okay, that started in the beginning of 1990s, wherein the mainframe computers have handled secret military information and personal computers have stored private data from the very beginning of their existence in the mid 1940s and 1980s respectively. Okay? However, during that time, okay, the security was not a crucial issue in either case. Okay? The information could mostly be protected in the old-fashioned way. For example, is they are going to physically lock up the computer and check the trustworthiness of the people who is working on it through background checks and screening procedures. Okay po? What has radically changed and made the physical and administrative approaches to computer security insufficient is the interconnectedness of computer and information system. Okay? Wherein yung mga highly sensitive na mga data from the economic, financial, military, and personal information is being stored and processed in a global network that spans from countries, governments, businesses, organizations, and individual. So during this time, okay, securing the cyberspace is synonymous with securing the normal functioning of our daily lives. Okay, wherein a secured information system must work reliably despite random errors, disturbances, and malicious attacks. So that's why there are some mechanisms, okay, incorporating security measures are not just hard to design and implement, but can also backfire by decreasing efficiency and sometimes to the point na yung system is magiging unusable na because there is no security at all. Okay? This is why some programmers used to look at security mechanism as an unfortunate nuisance. Okay? Because if you are going to work with a security mechanism, okay, yung mga programmers natin, they require more work. Of course, syempre, it's all about security. Okay? They do not add new functionality and may slow down the application. Thus, it will lead to decreasing of usability. Okay po? The situation is very similar when adding security at the hardware. Okay? Hardware, network, or organization level. Okay? Because increasing security makes the system clumsier and less fun to use. Kasi magpo-focus ka na lang doon sa security eh. Okay, for example, gagawa ka ng account. Okay? In creating an account, syempre, ang gusto natin is mabilisan lang or madalian lang. Yung walang masyadong keme, okay po. So, if the program or yung mismong system kung saan ka gagawa ng account is more on security measures, okay? Di ba, nakakatamad ng gumawa? Ano ba ito? Ang daming hinihingi. Nakakatamad na, ayoko nang gumawa. Okay po. For example na lang is, ano pa ba? Yung nangyari, for example, is yung, for example, pre-September 11, if you still remember it, yung 9/11/1, okay, yung terrorist attack, okay po. Wherein, for example, if dun pa lang sa part na yon, okay, na sobrang hirap na security, okay, siguro nangyari doon is wala sigurong nag-board doon sa mismong plane. Okay? Wala siguro nangyaring accident during that time. Okay? Kasi syempre, 'di ba, as a humans, okay? Nakakatamad talaga yung tawag dito, maraming hinihingi sa iyo. Okay? Yung tapang ang daming requirements, okay? Ang daming security measures na nakakatamad na gawin. Okay po? So, ayun, those are just an example. Okay po? Nonetheless, system must work, okay? And they must be secured. Okay po? So, kailangan magkaroon ng fine balance to maintain between the level of security on one side and yung mismong efficiency and usability ng mismong system on the other side. Okay? One can argue that there are three key attributes of information systems. Okay, nandito yung processing capacity wherein it deals with the speed, okay, of processing tasks, okay. So we have also here the convenience, okay, yung user friendliness ng mismong information system, and of course the secure, okay, or security, okay, for reliable operation. Nakuha po. So the process of securing this system is finding an acceptable balance of these attributes. Okay po. Wherein, yung subject of security kasi, pag sinabi mo kasing security, it is a word used to refer to many things. Okay? Wherein, it could become somewhat ambiguous. Okay? Nakuha po. So, ang gagawin natin is, we're going to discuss each perspective and examines the value of security. Okay? So, let's have now the branches of security. So, the branches of security is a concept approach that treats security as a set of related activity areas or branches. So we have here a figure that shows the security-related areas. Security-related areas typically considered. Okay, wherein always take note that all these areas, okay, are mutually dependent on each other. Because each security area focuses on a specific need, okay, to erect a barrier against inappropriate use of or access to yung mga assets such as information, capabilities, property, equipment, personnel, processes, and etc. Okay? Wherein you need to consider the valuable to an organization. Kung ano ba yung kailangan talaga ng mismong organization. Okay. Since there are now multiple avenues or approaches by which assets can be targeted, multiple security area activities are necessary. So now let's talk about these branches of security. Okay po. So the first branch is all about physical security. Okay po. So physical security capabilities are necessary to control physical access to the following. Okay. So we are dealing with the physical. Okay. When we say physical, ito yung mga nakikita natin, ito yung mga nahahawakan natin. Okay? So, the physical security is all about yung mga buildings, yung rooms, and offices. Okay? Dito rin papasok yung mga equipment na ginagamit for processing, storing, transferring, or accessing the information. And of course, yung cables used for communicating information between facilities, buildings, and even between individual systems within a building, floor, or rooms. Okay po. So, yan yung mismo physical security na tinatawag natin. Then, next, we have also the personal security, wherein, okay, it all about processes and procedures that are necessary to the following. First one is to ensure that an organization's employees' credentials are valid. So, kailangan malaman na accurate ba yung pinipresent netong employee na to with regards to their academic or professional credentials at yung mga past experiences. Okay, so kaya nagkakaroon ng mga screening, interviews, okay? Because that is part of personnel security. The next one is verify the identities and validate the reasons for non-employee. Kung sinabi natin non-employee, it's all about the guests, visitors, mga service and supply personnel. Kung sino lang sa kanila yung pwede mag-access ng mga organization facilities or other assets. So, kailangan magkaroon ng, identities, okay? Then, you need to validate the reasons. Diba? For example, tayo, sa university natin, sa campus natin, okay? If wala kang pasok, then gusto mo pumasok dun sa mismong campus natin, binibigyan ka dun ng ID, okay? Or visitor pass. Then, kailangan mong mag-log dun sa mismong logbook nila dun. Then, you need to indicate kung sino yung pupuntahan, kung ano yung gagawin, okay? Those are part of personnel security. The next one is, it ensures that the organization's security-related policies and procedures conform to legal constraints, okay, for employment activities. Dito po ngayon papasok yung documentary disciplinary activities, mga condition for termination of employees, okay? In other words, itong binabanggit natin na mga security-related policies and procedures, it's all about the contract. Okay? Contract or agreement. Okay po? Between the employee and the organization itself. Then the last one is, it informs both new and continuing employees kung ano ba yung kino-consider ng mismo organization. Ano ba yung necessary, ano yung acceptable, at ano yung mga hindi acceptable na behavior pag nasa loob ka ng mismong organization. Okay po? Nakukuha po. Then next, let's talk about the network security, wherein it is the technology, processes, and procedures that are necessary to ensure the following. First one is the data transferred between network devices is adequately protected from tampering, misuse, or destruction. Then we also have network devices are appropriately managed, monitored, and utilized. And the last one is the networking resources are used only for acceptable activities. Okay po. So it deals now with the networks as well as the communication, okay, on how the data and the information is being transferred, okay, from one place to another. Okay po, nakukuha. And as well as yung mga paggamit ng mga network devices. Okay po. Then next, we have also the computer security. Okay, so computer security is different from the network security. Kasi pag sabi natin network security, it deals with the network itself. Okay, yung panglahatan, yung ano yan, we are dealing with the MIS itself. Okay, whereas pag sinabi natin computer security, dito ngayon papasok yung mga hardware, software, then usage and administration ng mga sir, ng mga device, ng mismong data, ng mismong applications or operating system, ng operations, and yung mga database. Okay, database sub-areas. Wherein, you need to ensure the following. So, adequately protected from tampering, misuse, or destruction. So, appropriately managed and monitored. Then, utilized for organizations, sanction activities and purposes. And, available to support organization activities, processes, and functions. So, frequently, itong mismo mga security na to, security na dinidiscuss ko sa inyo, is focuses primarily on the networks, links, and interconnecting equipment. And, of course, on securing operation, systems, and application. However, okay, providing network security kasi is not just enough. Okay? Because yung mga attackers, okay, can leverage other weaknesses, okay, para ma-bypass yung mismong network security mechanisms in place. That's why network and computer security are both need to be considered along with the other branches of security. Nakuha po. So, kailangan matandaan yung term na information security is generally used to refer dun sa mismong concepts, mechanisms, activities, and objectives that span all of the security areas na binanggit ko kanina. Okay po? Nakuha. So, regardless kung ano mga security area or branch yung pinag-uusapan natin, okay, there are three views of security measures that can be applied to any situation. Dito ngayon papasok yung 3 Ds of security. Okay? So, we have the defense, deterrence, and detection. So, pag sinabi natin defense, okay, you need to protect the assets first. Okay? Ito yung mga assets, pag sinabi natin asset is, ito yung mga ari-arian ng mismong organization itself. Okay? So, yung network areas should be analyzed before adopting any protective efforts. Because defense measures reduce the likelihood of an attack and lessen the risk of damage. Nakuha po. For example is, pag nagkaroon kasi ng lack of defensive measures, okay, yung mga sensitive information could be exposed and lead to losses. Okay? Another example is that installing a firewall, okay, is a good defensive measure. But, syempre, hindi lang naman tayo pwedeng mag-rely lang dun sa mismong firewall. So, there are other two modes of security pa. Dito ngayon papasok yung deterrence and detection. So, itong 3Ds of security is really important if you really want to secure yung mismong assets, yung mismong organizations, okay, and yung mismong personnel, okay? Sir, ano nga yung pag tinawag nating deterrence? Okay, what is deterrence? So, it reduces the frequency of security compromises. Okay po? With deterrence mechanisms kasi and policies in place, attackers have to expand more effort and thus risk discovery. Okay, kung natatandaan po yung na-discuss ko sa inyo last time, yung about sa mga risk discoveries. Okay po. Deterrence policies within an organizations are enforced by using threats of disciplines and the termination of employee if any company policies are being violated. Okay po. So, hindi lang ito papasok dun sa mismong physical security. Okay? Maging dun sa mismong personnel. Okay? It could lead into a disciplinary sanctions or yun nga, termination ng employee. If there are company policies na violate. For example, email, browsing. Okay po. So, entering a computer network without a company authorization is illegal. Okay? And laws are in place to prosecute and punish those intruders. Okay po? Because intruders who know that their activities are being monitored